the idea about that filter that is between us and reality out there is such an important item and issue that I would like to spend some more time on it. This is something that I've been studying for the last 2 years very intently to see what's going on neurologically, what's really happening as we are perceiving reality, because we all know that when we look at the same object, we don't see the same thing. We really can see something completely different. We definitely will see some different nuances. For example, for some people, details stand more out. Other people see the big picture. Some people are able to get more of the color scheme. Other people see more of the texture. And those are the kind of things that when we start to understand that we all have such a different perception of reality, that really explains why there is so much conflict in the world, why people have issues with communication or with seeing eye to eye on a specific issue. And when we understand that, when we start working with that, that really changes our reality. It changes our access to reality and how we interact with it. When I understand that my filter determines the results I'm able to create, and that is for all areas of our life. That applies to our health and well-being. It applies to our relationships, personally and professionally. It applies to our career, our finances, our abundance, and ultimately our lifestyle. And all the results that you have in your life right now, that everybody has right now, is because of the filters that we have when we interact with reality. So if you are in a position of not having enough money, or always being behind, always feeling a need, there is some lack, there is some urgency in your life, that is because you have certain filters that you probably have taken a long time to establish and cultivate that make it so. So every time there is lack and any kind of limitations coming, then your filter goes, hey, bring it on, bring it on. This is congruent with my already existing patterns in my neurology. And then when financial opportunities come that actually could make you abundant, then your filter says, no, this is not for me, because it's not congruent with my already existing patterns. And that is all you need to understand. It is your filter system, it's your established neurology and patterns that are already in your mind, in your brain, that then filter and discern, yes, I'm willing to let this information through, no, I'm going to leave this information and it needs to go back to the universe. And to understand that and then proactively deal with that, that is mastery. That is when you step into a higher level of awareness, self-recognition, metacognition, and you are actually able to change those patterns. So start paying attention to what are my patterns right now. What are the results that I'm creating in my personal health and well-being, in my relationships, in my finances, my career, in my lifestyle? Am I getting what I want? And then you can start asking yourself those bigger questions. Do I have some underlying behavior, some kind of pattern that says, I never get what I want? Or I just never get any respect. Or people just don't like me. I'm an outsider. I'm getting rejected. I'm not accepted for who I am. I can't be my authentic self. Look at those deeper patterns. Look at those core patterns that might stop you from having the happiness that you want. And that's when then the real work starts of becoming aware of it on a daily basis. Wow, I'm doing it right now. What can I do in that moment? And I've shared in some other videos with how we can overcome self-sabotaging patterns, how we can start stepping into the right direction simply by breathing deeply, simply by practicing awareness, by talking to our parts. Hey, what's going on? I'm wondering why we're creating this pattern again. And when we start talking to ourselves on those levels, slowly over time our patterns will change, because we are literally changing our neurology in our brain right here and right now. So that is of course my greatest wish for you, that you start also applying those kind of ideas in your own life, in those areas where it matters to you. Perhaps you're already doing fantastic with your health and well-being, and it's your career that you would like to work on. Perhaps it's your finances that you would like to improve. So again, just start noticing what are the results that I'm currently creating, and what are those patterns in my mind that might be propelling those results to show up in my life. and what do I need to change? And then start with the deep breathing, the acknowledgement, the awareness, the acceptance, forgiveness, compassion, and have an open dialogue with yourself, with your parts that are creating those patterns. And over time you will start getting used to it, and new patterns will start to establish themselves. Just like the example I gave with insomnia and now being able to sleep well. That's what I'm doing with my eating patterns. That's what I'm doing with patterns from changing from coffee to tea, from Coca-Cola to water, and those kind of things, so that the new patterns are just as established and normal and natural for me as the old patterns used to be.